Hey y'all, it's Regis from the MorrisMansionBlog.com. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In previous bathroom episodes, I had shown you what my downstairs bathroom looks like currently and talked through some projects that were upcoming for this space. And then last week, we tackled this vanity. We painted over it, even though it had already been painted over. And now we're gonna move on to the next project. Today I'm gonna tell you how to have some different methods to lighten a piece of wood furniture. I have this cutie little stool that I thrifted a while ago in my bathroom, and it's very functional, but it's also very red. And I would love to make it a little bit more toned down, and I'm gonna show you 3 different methods that you can do to change the wood color. So here's my little stool. As you can see, it's got such a shiny finish on it, and it's very red. So first I'm going to completely sand this down, and I may have to put some stripper in the corners, but mostly it's all flat surfaces, so I should be able to get in most of the grooves with my palm sander. Sanding, unfortunately, didn't go as smoothly as I would like. My first sander was just completely dead, even after I changed the batteries. Then I had to change the battery on my Ryobi sander before actually having to change the grit of my sandpaper. The 80 grit was not working, and the 40 grit is what I needed to completely remove the finish, but I was able to remove the top coat and the wood finish. Okay, so I finished sanding down the stool. I've completely sanded the top off, but then if you come around here, I've decided to be a little bit lazy, so run with me. I've got this part right here that I'm just gonna paint. It's gonna be impossible to get in here. I could put a stripper in here, but I wanted a distressed look anyway. What I want is like an old painted milk stool kind of thing. And so I've decided I'm gonna paint in here blue and around the edges, and then just sand it off. And then even probably underneath, I will do a blue coat, and that'll be a way of getting around the areas that I wasn't able to sand. But let me turn the camera around. Okay, so this is what the stool looks like originally. Very red tones. I'm not quite sure what type of wood this is. Maybe mahogany or cherry, something with very strong red undertones. But even once the finish is stripped off, it still has quite a red undertone to it, and I want to counteract that. So let me show you a trick to neutralize those. When you have undertones that are very, very red, in order to neutralize them, you have to look at the color wheel and go the opposite direction. The opposite of red is green. So I had this stain from Varathane that had a very light green undertone, and it was very gray, but it did neutralize the red undertones quite a bit, as you can see here in this picture. I know it's hard to see on the red, but I wasn't looking to completely neutralize them. I just wanted to make them not as obvious. But before we stain, I need to sand this smooth with different grits of sandpaper. And whenever you sand, you want to go in the direction of the wood grain. Next, I would usually add some pre-stain wood conditioner so my stain is not splotchy. However, this reacted with the wood and resurfaced all of those red undertones that I am trying to neutralize. And I'll be honest, I didn't read the back of the can. This was only supposed to stay on for maybe 5 to 15 minutes before being wiped off, but I left it on all night, so that probably had something to do with it. But in the end, I really wish I didn't use this stuff. Well, the preconditioner was not the right move. I did it last night at about midnight, and about 7 o'clock I came out downstairs, and it was just as red as it was before. So, lesson learned. So now I'm trying to hand sand it off because it'll just gum up my my sander. But we're back to this very, very red toned stool. So it's coming off, but to get it down to where it was again, I'm probably going to have to strip it, which I just do not want to do. So we're going to go to plan B. I did still stain the stool, even though the undertones were harsher than when I first sanded it off. I did end up painting most of the stool, but what is peeking through was neutralized by the stain color. So I'm happy with that, and it does still have some of the original color, which I did like. When I applied the stain, I applied it and left it for about 5 minutes before wiping it off with a paper towel. I've got this chalk paint from Dixie Belle, and with it being green, I think that's also going to help to counteract it, and we'll just see what happens. So we have to pivot. That's okay. Sometimes in a project, we have to pivot. So I'm adding some green chalk paint from Dixie Belle to the areas that I didn't get all of the finish off, and also to the sides. This is a mix of cucumber ice and English ivy from Dixie Belle paint. I'm really just slapping it on there. There is no technique here. We're trying for a aged, antique, distressed look, something that has, chipping paint and just looks like it's been around for a long time. That is my vibe. Painting is a great way to change the wood color on wood furniture, or if you're luckier than me, you can sand off the finish and stain, but we all know how that went. So we're sanding, and here is what we ended up with. She's cute. And even after all the frustration with the sanding and the pre-stain, we got there in the end. She's cute. She is better than before, and I love the way the green has toned down the red and actually brings out a lot of the colors in my rug. And that's it from me this week. I can't believe we're at the final installment of the bathroom series next week. We're going to be painting my floors, and I would like to have y'all vote on what you think I should pick. I'm thinking either a standard black and white option, which is always very traditional, maybe a pop of color with some red, or should I do kind of a combination of the two in a more muted version? Either way, thank you so much for stopping by the mansion, and I'll see you next week.